All right. So, hello. Um, are we done? Waiting to see if this is coming through on. Um, it, cool. It's coming on there. For some reason, this isn't coming through on Twitch, but it is coming through on YouTube. So, I guess that's where I'm going to be promoting it. So, hello and welcome to no one right now, but maybe someone else will show up. Um, Today, what I'm being asked by a client to think about the Mojo programming language, and so what I'm going to do today is come to it almost entirely blind. Have a look at the documentation, have a look at their tutorial, see if I can get up and running, and see, basically what I can do with it as we go. So let's switch over to here. Move my head over a little bit. There we go. Okay. So this is the Modular website. So Modular are a company, and we're looking and interested about the Mojo programming language, which is one that Modular produce and create, and that they work with. What is Mojo, and why should we be interested in it? Well, it apparently has the expressiveness of Python with the performance of C. One of their aims is to avoid the sort of the 2 or 3 language problem. The reality that sometimes you write something and prototype something in Python, and then you need to get really low level. You want to be really fast, and so you need to switch over to some other language, maybe C, C++. I know when I'm working at CERN, they're talking about dropping into COBOL or some other languages that can handle things much faster. So they're looking at C and COBOL and other languages to say, hey, Python's great for prototyping. It's great for getting ideas, but it's not so good. It's not so good at sort of keeping things, making things go super fast. What we're thinking about today is what Mojo is trying to solve that problem. It's trying to say, well, rather than having 2 languages, one that you prototype in and one that you go super fast in, or even one that you use for scripting and as a wrapper around sort of running MATLAB scripts or AI runs or other things, instead you can do it all inside of Mojo. So apparently it's got 175,000 developers. I wonder how they measure that. That's an interesting metric. I wonder how you get that. It's got 23,000 stars on GitHub and 22,000 community members. Again, is that through a Discord or something? I'm not sure. So if we have a look, it has powerful and easy use features. So it's got progressive types. So it's got a type system much like Python's type, optional type hinting that we have this ready to go. We've got 0 cost abstraction. So they have different data types like structs, which we'll probably get a chance to have a look at. Ownership and borrow checking. Oh, that's giving me Rust feelings. I don't know a lot about Rust. I did some work on Rust a couple of years ago and haven't touched it since then. But borrowing and ownership, that feels rusty, which might be interesting. It's got portable parametric algorithms. Okay, that sounds interesting. I'm still looking at these return types. We've got this square bracket thing going on, which seems different. And then we've got a return type and language integrated auto tuning. So it finds the best values for your parameters to take advantage of the target hardware. Okay, that could be interesting. Sounds very cool. We extend Python or scale all the way down to the metal. Program the multitude of low-level AI hardware with no C++ or CUDA required. So this is what we're saying. Rather than needing to switch out to another language, we can instead use CUDA, or instead use Mojo, and use that as our approach to be able to do things that are really fast and really low level and are more high level than maybe they need to be. So we're going to use Mojo with Max. I don't know what Max is. I'm not going to use Max today. I think it's their hosted environment. So you can but I might look at that another time. It unlocks the future of accelerated computing, development tools. Okay. Got some GPU previews and got some other stuff and things going on here. So speed up from Python 3.10. If that's 1x, then 68,000 times faster. That sounds great. Whoa. If that's true, that's very interesting. And yeah, doing what? So it's on a big machine looking at the algorithm, the Mandelbrot algorithm. Okay. And we can access the entire Python ecosystem. Alrighty. So let's have a look at this get started guide. So I think I'm kind of convinced that it sounds quite a compelling offering. Next generation member of the Python family, so we come knowing Python and we're in a good spot. We've got compatibility there, but Python has problems, and then there's this two-world problem that you have to drop into another language to make things go fast. Equally, there might be a three-world or n-world problem if you're looking at sort of different types of different spaces you might need to jump into. It's improving on the just-in-time compiler and the C Python. Okay. It's got embedded DSLs in Python already. So let's have a look. Let's run to this tutorial. So we're going to get ready to learn Mojo. The tutorial is designed to help give you a tour of several features by completing a program that does much more than simply printing hello. In fact, I'm going to build Conway's Game of Life. Oh, I love Conway's Game of Life. My previous life, I was a maths teacher, and like Conway's maths education articles in the Scientific American have always been outstanding, or were always outstanding. He's no longer with us anymore. But yeah, if you don't know, this game is really cool. Basically, every cell during its lifetime is able to say checks to see if it's got 0, 1, or 2 neighbors, it dies. 3 neighbors, it reproduces. Yeah, we'll probably see more about the rules as well. Here we go. And fewer than 2 neighbors dies. 2 or 3 lives on to next generation. More than 3, the neighbor dies if by overpopulation. And dead cells, if exactly 3 live neighbors become a live cell as if by reproduction. Okay, cool. So we're going to see some of their types. We'll look at a list. We'll see this all ready to go. It might be a little long because there's a lot to learn. Okay, so I'm going to give this 90 minutes. So it's currently 3:10 where I am. I'm going to finish up at 4:30. So I'm going to see how far we get. So let's move this over there and that over there. And let me pull up a terminal. Okay, so I'm going to Playground. And I'll create a directory called Mojo, and I'll clear. Bump up that font. Alrighty. So we want to, if you don't have the Magic CLI installed, then you should install it. We don't, so if I copy this, cool. Sometimes when you copy from documentation, it keeps that little $sign in, which is always super annoying for me, but yeah, that's okay. So let's check Magic. It's not, so we probably need to open a new CD Playground, Mojo, clear. And Magic working here? It does, fantastic. Let's close this tab. All right, so it's working. So it says, navigate directly which you want to create the project and run Magic init life -- format Mojo. Okay, so it's create a TOML file. Tom's other markup language, love it. It's creating an environment, it's caching, it's doing some downloads, so we're downloading quite a lot already. Oh, and did add that max thing, so maybe I'll be using that max thing even though I didn't particularly intend to, but we'll see. Let's give our terminal a bit more space. So what do we get? We've got a folder called life, which just has a lock file and a TOML file already. But if I ls everything that's in there, there's more. We've got our git ignore, got a .magic directory, which is probably where all those big downloads, that sort of 400 megabytes of download went. I imagine it went there. And then we have here. So we're looking at this Mojo, this programming language for trying to solve this problem. All right. You should see that it contains those, so I can see that. It's got a lock file, which is a transitive dependency. So presumably, like most other projects in TOML, it's going to give, greater than or equal to and less than, but less than here. So we're getting, in our dependencies, we have sort of a range of possible options, which during deployment is not what we want, because that produces, it works on my computer problems. So in the lock file, oh my goodness, so it's downloaded some kind of, using Conda, the distribution of Python from Conda, interesting. So there's lots of Conda dependencies in this lock file. That's interesting. And what else has got going on? Okay, lots of things in the lock file. Because we use the format -- Mojo when creating a bit of magic, automatically add the max dependency, which includes Mojo. Okay, let's verify that our project is configured correctly by checking the version of Mojo to install with our project virtual environment. We'll say magic run mojo -- version. Something happened. So I'm running Mojo's version 24.6.0. That seems like a massively high version. Version 24. Wow. Okay. So that's, version 24. Python's on 3.13. But Mojo is on version 24.6. They must have had a lot of breaking changes as they explored this. Alrighty, so we're going to create a hello world. I'm going to use VS Code. So let me get VS Code up. Let me put that there. I'll put this here so I can read it as I go. And then we'll see what's going on. So we're going to create a file called life.mojo. Fantastic. And I don't have a Mojo extension running, so that probably means that I'm not going to get any auto completion, but we'll see. I am running Copilot, so Copilot might decide to jump in at some point. Hasn't yet. Okay, so this feels very Python-y. We've got a function that we're defining called main. We're printing hello world. We've Python before. This should look familiar. It does. Thank you. When we're using def to find main, you can define any number of spaces or tabs as long as you same data. So same as Python. Print an executable Mojo requires you to define a no argument main function. So you have to have a main function. So we don't have to do the if dunder name dunder equals dunder main. So that's good. And to run the program, we first need to start a shell. Okay, so we say magic shell. Okay, so that feels a lot like jumping into an IDE, into a virtual environment in Python. So that feels familiar. And then we'll say mojo life.mojo. Okay, that feels very understandable. I wonder if there is a Python or a VS Code extension for this, because I feel like I would like my my language server protocols to be able to give me some auto completion. There we go. Give me some. Not. I don't care so much about the auto completion. It's more that I care about the colors, so it can tell me if stuff's going wrong already. So Mojo is a compile language, not an interpreted one like Python. So when we run a program, it performs a just one. So we can do mojo build life.mojo. And what's that going to produce? So it produces this, a life executable, which I can run. Interesting. So if I just go to a terminal that I haven't used their shell, that's there. So does that mean that ls-list, how big is it? Okay, so it's 37 kilobytes. Does that mean it has all of the runtime it needs inside of that to be able to run? That would be very cool if it did. Don't know. Seems very cool. Does this document suggest anything more before I jump over there? Build. Compiles to executable. It's saved the current directory. Beware, any Python any Python libraries used in your Mojo project are not included in the executable binary, so they must be provided by the environment where you run the executable. Okay, so if you're not using executables if you're not using anything else. Oh, okay. Thanks for that. I don't know. Apparently my document's a bit blurred. I'll bump up the font size. Oh, it does look a bit blurred. I don't know why. Video. I thought I stream. Oh, it says it's trying to use higher quality video mode. It says it's trying to. Odd. That is strange. I'm sorry. I will try to fix that. But I've bumped the font size up, so hopefully that's a little bit more readable. And I can't see the options. I can't see the option that is causing the pain of this right now. So rather than go down that rabbit hole, I'm going to sort of maybe... Oh, yeah, I can see... Oh. I might... Right, tell you what, I'm going to stop and restart. And hopefully that'll fix it. Give me a second.